Everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is your favorite YouTube luxury vloggers here, Michelle, and my special guest, Christy.
Hello.
I wanted to talk about this today because I thought it would be fun. Hopefully, it's not too much of a venting session between me and Christy, but you know it will be. I do see this is just based on comments I see, TikToks I see, and we want to address this as former client advisors to Louis Vuitton. What salespeople are really thinking about you when you walk into the store. So,
Yeah.
okay, let's start with the what are we wearing? Because as usual, I started to ask Christy, what is she wearing so we can coordinate our outfits.
Oh,
We love
this is
fashion.
an archive oldie but goodie Lily Pulitzer dress. It's velour, but I just want to be comfortable because I'm off today. But it has a little cutout in the back. It's just cute and cozy. But apparently, Lily Pulitzer is doing a 70% off sale tomorrow. So if you're a Lily fan, you might want to check that out.
Show the back.
Oh, yeah. The back has a little cutout. Cute.
Very cute. So I was like, darn it, I just came off of a Disney cruise and there were people wearing Lily Pulitzer because it's like they have a lot of floral prints.
Mm-hmm.
I mostly think tropical colors when I think Lily Pulitzer, and they've had Disney collaborations. Like I always love it, but I never actually bought one. And even the Target collaboration they had, I remember I bought a little eyelet top for my daughter that was super cute that she's now grown.
I'm sure.
So I'm like, "Oh, okay, Christy, I don't have Lily Pulitzer. I'll just put on something floral and then put on my list that I'm going to need to find a Lily Pulitzer dress." And before we hit record, we were talking about all the designers that we love. So I think we're going to record that for another show, a bit of nostalgia. And I think just to share what some of our fashion loves are, it's not just Louis Vuitton. I wanted to do a show about what client advisors really think when you walk into the store. Since not even COVID, before COVID, like when I worked there, there's usually a line to get in. So there aren't that many times you can just walk into the store. You're assigned an advisor. With that said, and from my experience, we are so busy tending to the store that we don't even see, we hardly even see people when they walk in. Just being honest, we're most of the time too busy to see people walk in. Now, so if you think you're being judged, or if you think you need to have some persona to walk in a certain way, most of the time the client advisors, we're like already helping other people, or we're putting things away, we're making the store look presentable. So just from our perspective, and also to, I think, relieve the fact that many people think they're being judged when they walk in, but I'll get into that later. Okay, so Christy, your first thoughts.
Yeah. So to your point, now as long as I've been working at Vuitton, which I don't anymore, but when I worked there, we had a wait system. So a manager would sit in the front with a tablet, and every time you came in, they greet you, get your name, and say whoever was up next or the next available CA. Oh, this is Christy. This is Michelle. They're going to take care of you. So you're assigned a client advisor upon entry of the store, whether you're looking around or you're not, just because that person is there for the duration of the time you're shopping there to assist you, because it just makes it easier to meet your needs, whether you're just looking, because 9 out of 10 times, if you're going to the store, you're going in with intention, whether or not what it is, they want to make sure you're taken care of. So if you think that you have to dress like you're going to the Oscars or a red carpet event every time you go in, and that because you're just wearing jeans and a t-shirt and like you're in your like athleisure wear, that we're going to look at you, we are normal people who dress down when we're off. We don't dress for the Oscars secretly when we're off. If you think we're judging you, no, we're just stressed because there are a lot of expectations put on us there. And so most of the time, what we're thinking is not about sometimes the clients, it's mostly about those very high and sometimes unreasonable goals that you are given.
Yes, thank you for saying that because that is absolutely true. Like it's the stress, the environment that we are thinking about. There have been times where like clients that I know from outside of Louis came in just to say, "Hi, Michelle." and they were like this, "Hi, Michelle," and I couldn't even like I swear I couldn't even recognize her face. It's my mind was elsewhere, and then it was like, "Oh, oh yeah, it's you. Hi." So I think there's like so many layers of this, right? Because generally, let's just be honest, the nicer you dress, the richer you look. Whether you go into Louis Vuitton, Chanel, whether you go into a restaurant, it's the energy that comes with you too. Okay, we've had construction workers come in with cash in their pockets and buy things, but it's the energy that you come in with. If you think you're going to be judged, you are judging yourself and you're judging other people is what
Mhm.
happens in your head, like human psychology. If you think you're being judged, you probably are because the first person you're judging is yourself and everyone around you and you think that people are looking at you. And I mean it's come on, kind of the basics of why people want to buy Vuitton anyways. Most of them wanted to be seen with the logo because they care about how they are perceived.
Right. And some people come in there and it may be I mean, most of the people that came in when I was there, their daughter, mom, sister, whatever, husband was treating them for a gift because it's like, my mom would never buy herself this, my whatever. We're going to treat her to a bag. It might be an open price point bag, but for them, that was like everything. It was
Mhm,
to treat them to a moment and a time at the store to get something that was just nice, you know,
mhm.
'cause it makes you feel good when you have something nice and your family is like treating you. But like people, well, I had no idea I was coming in today. I feel so bad. I wasn't dressed for this. Oh my God, what are you guys gonna think? We're not thinking about your outfit. We're actually just trying to do our jobs. We are less concerned about what clients are wearing and like how much money we think. There are so many people online who take to the internet and they think that they're being targeted for whatever reason and that people are ignoring them. And that is totally not right. First of all, if you feel targeted and you're on, I don't know, camera, you cannot record inside Louis Vuitton. So if you feel targeted, there was one lady who almost got kicked out of Louis Vuitton for making so many TikToks. And I forgot her
Mhm.
name. I just called her TikTok. I'm like, my God, TikTok's coming in today because she would record videos. I'm like, hey, and I told her, can't record in here. They will kick you out. And so she would get her phone and she'd flip it. And later on, I'd see her video. I'm like,
And it's made for clickbait. So I thought of this topic because there it was a TikTok or a reel that I saw that this lady was like, she was recording herself and she literally was like, let's see how long it takes to get service. And she sat there with a sour face and was just like looking at people like this. Honestly, if you come in with that attitude and salespeople feel that, we don't want to help sour people. We don't want to help people that are looking for trouble or looking to make a point. There are people who come in with attitude intentionally wanting a reaction so that they can make a point, like they have an agenda.
mhm.
You know what I'm talking about. So why would you want to help? It's like walking into anywhere. If you walk into a restaurant with an attitude, no one is going to want to help you.
Absolutely not. No one's gonna wanna help somebody. First of all, you're saying, "I wanna see how long it takes someone to help
Mhm,
me." You were probably assigned a client advisor. That client advisor, like, when somebody was assigned to me, they're like, "Hi, I'm Christine, I'm gonna be taking care of you today. What are we here looking for today?" And if someone's like, "I'm just looking, I really don't want to," I would step back and you read the room, you give that client their space
mhm.
because you don't want to be too much. You have to be like, step back and be like, okay, well, let me figure this out. And these people sometimes they'd be like, no one wants to help me. And even the people would say they don't want to help. It's like, well, you told me and your body language said, leave me alone.
Yep.
And I left you alone and then you got weird. Like is
Mhm.
but I think I don't want to be helped when I go in places just because I kind of know what I like. And if I need somebody, I'll go grab them so that they can get the sale. But some people feel like OMG offended if you follow them around at Louis Vuitton because they think that we're stalking them or we think that they're going to take something. And it's like, absolutely not. We have to, like, just to let you know, when you go into Louis Vuitton and you're assigned a advisor, I can't go help another person.
Yep.
I have to literally wait until you walk out the door to help another client. So if you're just there fiddle faddling around waiting on your reservation at a restaurant, or you're just there on your lunch break, or you're just bored, I can't take another client. And people wait, oh, you can go help someone else. No, I literally can't until you leave, you
Yes,
know?
I
Even
also
my dog agreed with
understand.
that.
They also don't understand you can't just it's not a playground. You can't just, like, start picking up things and looking at them and touching them. A lot of things, like scarves, are very delicate. People who are buying the bags don't want just some random person touching their bags. When I worked there, there was actually a Godiva store down, like, a few stores down that served
Mhm.
ice cream, and people would come in with their drippy ice cream and sticky fingers. There is no way I'm letting you walk around touching things with your drippy ice cream and sticking fingers, because that's so disrespectful to the people who are actually going to buy the things. So, and plus, you know how expensive the things are. If you owned a boutique that had products that were worth thousands of dollars, even a $500 belt,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure you'll be following people around when they walk in, not just thinking, okay, they might steal this, but let me help you. I don't want you to touch that and accidentally break it, damage it, or just make it unsellable. I think that's kind of common sense.
Right. And honestly, we had, I don't know what it is, and this drove me bazonkos, and I don't care who knows.
Mhm.
We had counters, and people would go behind the
Behind
counter
them,
and yank stuff, and the stuff was locked because we had to lock the bags, you
yes,
know,
petite malls and capucines, they would try to
and
yank
yank them
off
off the
the
walls.
shelf
And I'm like,
when they're chained.
"What are you doing? What are you doing?" "Oh, can I see that?" And I'll be like, "Well, can I get you on this side of the counter?" "What do you mean?" "Oh, I didn't know. I had no idea. Do you think people are stealing?" And I'm like, "No, it's just that this side of the counter, you can let me know what you want to see and I'll grab it. This side of the counter." So point, even the security people would tell them and they'd be like, "They must think we're stealing. We're gonna go next door to Gucci." I'm like,
Yeah, or I would get, "We can't even look. I can't even look back here." No, like, if I let you into my house and you went and touched like, if I had a $500 crystal and you
"Mhm,
went and touched it, I would say something. So it's kind of the same thing. It's not a playground and you can't just like, "Oh, why can't I just look at it?" That was the pushback we had to deal with as advisors. So if you come in and we already look annoyed, it was probably from the 20 customers before you that were coming in thinking it was a playground, not for the fin.
right." And sometimes I would like, so every day when I worked at Louis, which I thought was a good, I mean, there's some, I thought it was good for us to know our goal for the month
Mhm.
and to know how much we had to do per day to make, they called it a per diem, what you have to make every day, sell every day to make your goal for the month. You would get that number at the beginning of your shift. So sometimes you were stressed because when you got that number at the beginning of your shift, if you knew that you're like, oh my God, I'm like, if you have to sell like, I don't know, $20,000 a day, and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's like, I've got to sell a lot. And then they want you to do multi sales. So you're stressed because every time a client comes in, you're hoping, and even though you like that person and you're connecting with that person, and as much as I want to spend time talking to everybody because I love people and I want to like just chat it up and be like cool with them, the managers sometimes are in the back,
Oh, yeah.
snap
They'll look
you
at you. They'll do
and
this.
just be like, wrap it up,
Mhm.
wrap it
Wrap
up,
it up.
wrap
Sell
it up.
something, wrap it
Because
up.
no, they would be like, I would see them in the corner doing
Yep.
this, like, you got to wrap it up
Exactly.
because
She's right.
you're with that person way too long. And as much as we want to sit there and talk to you, if we like you, we have to
We
make our
gotta
sales
keep
goal.
it going.
Because if you don't make your sales goal at Louis Vuitton, they will can you.
And what you said, when you come in, no joke, the return rate is higher than anything I've ever seen at any other store. You could come in to a negative 7,000, like you start your day in negative thousands, not negative hundreds, like negative thousands, because the person you helped the day before and spent 3 hours with went home and got buyer's remorse and brought all of it back.
Right.
So it's not
That's yeah.
there's
Sure.
so much more to deal with than to appease people's perception, personality when they come in. That being said, it's like we could read the room. If there were people who were actually not regular Louis Vuitton shoppers who were scared to even ask the question, and in that case, we we can sense that. Okay, hi, what are you looking for? Let me help you. Because I would get that. There would be people who, and there were people who saved over a long time, or like what Christy said, okay, this is a special occasion. It's my 50th birthday. It's my first Louis Vuitton. And they are like a little nervous or intimidated of like, okay, what to expect. And we can sense that too. And that is why we're hired for our skills with people to be able to say, okay, hey, give me an idea of what you're looking for. Give me a budget. What is your lifestyle? And those are things we can read in people to help them feel more comfortable. So if you're watching this and you feel intimidated with shopping in a luxury boutique, like there are people who are willing to help you. With that said, too, I mean, like Christy and I, we get along, we know each other's personalities. That doesn't mean everyone in the store. We're not robots. Not everyone in the store is robots. It is a myriad of personalities. So, yeah, you might get a stuck up person that day, or you might get somebody who's brand new, who doesn't know all the rules, all the inventory. Like, that being said, I mean, we don't even set the prices. So we hear all the complaints. We hear everything, but we're not robots. We don't set the prices. We don't make the rules. We don't make the return rules, the return policies, and things like that. Yet
Hmm.
we're expected to pretty much know and handle everything, know every price, know every bit of inventory, know what every store in the US has. And those are like, all these expectations of a salesperson are quite unrealistic. Let's just be honest. At the end of the day, that's made like, what's the word? Amplified by social media. It's
Hmm.
it's made people expect so much out of like one boutique experience.
Hmm.
Okay. Sorry, that was a bit of a rant.
No, I just think, and also and I know we get heat for this,
Mhm.
but we're not psychics, okay? I do not have a crystal ball. I cannot see into the future. I do not know you. If somebody comes into a store and you land on my table and I'm your client advisor and you don't give me anything to work with, you don't know what you want. I don't know what you want. You haven't given me, like, you saw something. Well, I saw something on him when I was at the airport 2 years ago. I saw some girl wearing a bag and it was black and little, and that was cute.
Yes, this was a common question, you guys. What we don't
Okay, I don't know. There's
know.
a lot of cute black and little bags, and I'm not sure. And then I look up and I'm like, is it this? No. No, well, did it have? And then when I finally find out what bag it is, it's completely different than what you described. And it's a bag that was discontinued, and you're mad, and you're like, so you mean you can't order it from me? No, I cannot. I cannot go into the archives. That's why there's resale stores that are really good to go to if they don't make it anymore, that you can still go and shop. But I cannot go into the archives, and I cannot go into a time machine and get that bag for you. So it's best, and like I said, I'm going to get heat for this.
Mhm.
It's best for people to go online and see what bags they like, take some screenshots, and come into the store and say, hey, I saw these bags on your website. I haven't seen them in person. I would like to try them on. Do you have them here so I can look at them personally? And it's not because we don't know what we're doing or you should do your homework. It's because sometimes people's descriptions of bags and what they like and what they thought they saw years ago and they don't make sometimes don't make sense. And it's easier for people to assist you if they also, the pictures help us know your personal style.
Yep.
And we can pick out other bags that make sense from what you're showing us. Like, oh, they're showing us, a lot of small, hobos. We have this one that just came in, or maybe there's something they're launching that's in the back that you could pre-order. It also gives the person an idea of what you like. So please give somebody something to work with.
Some substance. Thank you for saying that. And yes, we will get a lot of hate because I remember a video we did there were a lot of comments about we shouldn't have to do that. Yes, you should, because let me step out as a client advisor. As your friend, as just a person, do some research before you spend a lot of money, you know?
Do
Like
research before you go to Target, before you go to any
spending
tailor,
a
anywhere.
lot of money. It's almost like buying a car, like, not as much money as a car. In some cases, yes, but don't you research a little before you go to the car dealership, before you spend the money? Because I don't encourage just to spend or spending to get in debt. Do a little research to see if the bag does even exist, because that happened a lot. "Oh, this bag was discontinued 5 years ago." Well, why didn't anyone tell me? I drove all the way here. I didn't know you were coming. I didn't know you were coming. I didn't know I was supposed to somehow know you were coming and call you and let you know. And sometimes the answer is the answer. Oh, the bag doesn't exist. Okay. So like Christy said, we can't go into the archive. The unicorn in the back that poops out bags is not working today. The little man over here in the back that sews bags is not working today. We would honestly joke about that. And oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, if you come in, what's the word? And I'm sure you've seen this, Christy. Pretending that you have money, pretending that you are a longtime client, pretending that you have all these things. We can just see through all that.
Yeah, I do
Like,
love when people say, I've been shopping here for years. You have no idea how much money I spent, and I have everything. I have that bag, and I could buy your store. You don't know what kind of money I have. All to find out that they have a never full and a Victorine on their purchase history. And it's like,
yeah. And there
no
are
judgment, but
people,
like, why do you have to have all that? Why do you have to convince us? Like, because we
yeah,
literally don't care.
we don't care. All the fanfare, because people do it to kind of boost themselves so that we think they're more important than they actually are, or they do it to try to cut people in line. I saw that often. Like, I might be talking to a customer and someone comes in like, "Oh, I spent so much money here. You need to help me," as if the customer that I'm talking to doesn't exist. So, like, those are the types of pretentious attitudes that people think will get them faster, better service. But we really don't like helping people like that anywhere. I just don't like people like that anywhere.
Yeah. I remember one day I had a client, it was a group of people and they were in the men's area. And there was like a little couch in the men's shoes area. And I was like, hey guys, can I help you? Well, first of all, you can start off with asking if we would like some champagne. And I'm like, okay, well, did you guys have an appointment? Because at my store, for whatever reason, I can't tell you, I don't know. You had to have an appointment to get champagne
Mhm.
because for some reason our store, because this is right after COVID, we didn't even order a lot of champagne or have a lot of champagne. And sometimes if we would only have it chilled if we knew a client was going to come in and who wants room temperature champagne, let's just be real. And then sometimes we were out of water. Like it was tough times. And I was like, let me see if we have any. Give me a second. And I would have to go ask a manager, do we have any champagne? These clients are upset. Do they have an appointment? No. Do they spend a lot of money here? I don't know. I'm up next and that's my group. And then the managers would be like, just like let me get some champagne just so I can make them happy so that they're not whining. So, and it's like because I at the end of the day, I hate telling people no. And it's not coming from me, it's coming from the manager. And the manager should just walk over there and say, hey guys, I'm so sorry. We actually are out of champagne. She came and she tried to fight for you guys. She was saying if we have champagne, we actually don't. I'm so sorry. Something. But instead, I had to be the bad guy and tell them we didn't have champagne. And then they got mad. You don't know who we are. We want to come and spend some money. And then finally, by the time I got them champagne, because I told the manager, let me just give them champagne. Just please. They're just sitting there taking videos, taking pictures. They're drinking champagne inside Louis Vuitton. And then it's just one person who wanted to buy a belt. So
Yes,
you're
that's
telling
right.
me you were telling me you guys did all this fanfare to get champagne, saying you guys don't know who we are, just so one person in the group could buy a belt.
Yes, and for that reason, I'm very glad that my store was not allowed to serve champagne. That's not for you to go on Yelp and say, I can't believe they didn't give me water. Do you see how the misconception happens when people like come in expecting something out of turn or pretty much just demanding that they be treated a certain way. Or, "Well, do you know who I am?" Actually, no, I don't. I've never seen you in here before. So
Yeah.
none of those tactics actually work when you're coming in to shop. In fact, it's not just the client advisors, the managers. Like when we pick up on things like that, nobody in the store wants to see you ever again.
Mhm. Right.
Have anything to add to that, Christy? Yeah, we don't the false persona, the act of like, I'm important, I'm more important than everyone else. So in that case, if you do come in with that attitude, yes, you will be judged in some sense because we have seen it before. And ultimately, if somebody is unpleasant, we're not going to want to spend time with that person. We might tolerate a little bit more if you're going to spend like over 10 grand. If you're going to spend 30 grand, we're going to tolerate it.
Absolutely. If you're gonna drop that money, we will gladly
Yeah.
take you. And that sounds bad, but yeah, but sometimes people who are gonna drop the biggest money are the
The
kindest,
nicest.
most down to earth people
Yes.
who don't talk about it. You
Hmm.
just know they're a good client and they just spend money and they're not going to bother you. They're going to take your time. Don't worry about it. It's okay. The clients I took to Rochambeau Ranch, they were from Oklahoma and they were the coolest, kindest people. They took me out to dinner afterwards and they were just so chill and they were my best clients. And they never bragged about what they had or how much money they could spend. If you looked at them, you wouldn't know how much money they had, but they had money. And
Yes.
they the coolest people I've ever helped.
There's
I
that
still
term
talk to
wealth
them this day.
whispers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. The wealthiest clients I had were never boisterous. They were never
Mhm.
boisterous or angry, never crossed their arms, never had that face like, I can't believe that I'm not getting what I want now, now, now. So you can tell there's that perception that you have to act a certain way. And, sadly, audience, just a bit of psychology. This is all just surface level self perception of how you think you need to appear in the world. When you erase that from your mind, when you erase that from your life, everything becomes a better experience. Like you'll see everything in your life, not just luxury shopping, everything else is actually will become enjoyable because you're not sitting here thinking, oh my God, what are they thinking about me? I can't believe I was treated this way. Did they treat me this way because they think I didn't have money or this or that? When at the end of the day, we probably don't even remember these interactions of whatever you think salespeople are thinking about you. Kind of silly.
Right. I think that people just need to know that these are our jobs. We're actually trying to help you all. We're
Hmm.
not judging you. We want to make sure your experience is good. And most of the time we're frustrated because we have goals or that sometimes the people coming in, they want to degrade the client advisors and ask and say things like, you must have everything here. Oh, what is your discount? You must own a lot of things here, or bless your heart, or you're just working sales. I mean, sometimes the things that people said were
Hmm.
just like, I'm not going to tell you my discount. I'm not going to tell you how much I make. I'm not going to tell you. That's inappropriate. I'm not going to ask you for your W-2 when you come in and shop here.
I would rather help like the nicest housekeeper who's buying something. I would rather help that person than someone who maybe inherited the money and think they're better. Oh, you just work here. You just work here. Because it's like your things, your job, it doesn't determine who you are as a person.
No, it doesn't.
There was one nice comment we had, Christy, that said it was like she hates the service in the US. She had written the corporate many times, so she chooses to shop in Paris instead. I have no response other than like, first of all, you're still giving your money to Louis Vuitton for one. And then another thing is that even though we are hired and trained to be all about customer service, we're just humans. There's attitudes that from customers that we actually just don't have to handle, that we could walk away from. And a second to that, you're still spending money. So the whole what's that movie with Julia Roberts, Pretty
Pretty
Woman?
woman.
Oh, big mistake, big mistake. When people are like, I'll just spend it, they kind of spend out of spite.
Mhm.
Louis Vuitton still got your money. So, and I've seen this. I don't know where it comes from, honestly, because in our full week of training, we're not trained this way. But there are salespeople in the luxury field, not necessarily Louis Vuitton, who are dismissive
Yeah.
because, again, human psychology, when customers are dismissed, they want to then prove themselves by spending even more money. It doesn't make sense. This is a corporation. They're going to get your money. So you're not winning out of spite. You're not proving anything to anyone. You're just proving to the corporation that they now have your money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
having those attitudes or stories in your head or anything like that, it's just so silly and bizarre to me. But basically, you get the service that like your energy is returned. You get what you give.
Yeah, and I saw this video where this girl's like, all the luxury stores are trained to be dismissive and give you bad service and look at you up and down because they hire people to intentionally train them to give you bad service so that you will shop more. And I'm like, that is so absurd because I have never, like at Louis Vuitton, if you gave bad service, like we had surveys and like the managers would talk to us like we've never been trained to be dismissive, so that's inaccurate.
Yes, yes. The only yeah, we're not definitely not trained to be dismissive. We're trained
Yeah.
to basically be everything, like even your
Mhm.
counselor, right? Like
Yeah.
when
Right.
people are coming in for retail therapy, even though we're not trained to be dismissive, there is a point. There's a tolerance point. You cannot abuse retail salespeople. And
Yeah.
there are times where the manager will step in and say, "You're not allowed here anymore." There are times the manager will step in and say, or will like handle it and let the person know we cannot help you any further. So that does happen. Just because your bag costs such and such amount of money, it doesn't mean you get to have everything you want. It doesn't mean you get to treat people a certain way or that your money is better than the person next to you.
No, it's not. And I know that managers have had to de-escalate situations because most of the time it's because I'll tell you why clients get mad. And this is the biggest thing I saw clients get mad about. I don't know about you. So I don't know if anyone knows this or not, but summer's coming up and it's best that you guys know this. If you are traveling abroad, okay, and you are going somewhere and you're so excited because you're like, I'm going to go to Paris, I'm going to go to Italy, I'm going to go to all the places and I'm going to buy my first Louis Vuitton purchase. I'm going to go shopping so I can get duty free and tax free. First of all, taxes built in there. You're still paying taxes. It's just different. Okay. And you're like, I'm going to get duty free, tax free shopping. I'm going to save so much money. And people always ask us, have you ever been to France? You save so much money. It's like, man, I saved more money on my employee website, but that's a whole nother thing. But then they would go there and they would go to France. And France, they will give you lots of champagne, guys. They will think because that's where it's from. It will be flowing and you will be like, oh my God, I can see the Eiffel Tower. I'm in France. It's 3 floors. We're going to drink. You're going to be, tipsy and you're going to be like, I'm going to get this. Well, let's just say you want the on the go in black, but they are out of black because let's just say it's like a very busy store from beginning to end. You have so many tourists. And you're like, okay, well, they're like, well, we don't have black, but we have the turtle. And they convince you to get the turtle. And they're like, yeah, you can always exchange it. Don't worry. They know that you're a tourist. They know that you don't live in France. They don't know if or when they're going to ever see you again. And you go back to the United States and you go back to wherever it is you live, and you're like, oh my God, I just don't see myself wearing this color. I'm in the 30-day window. I'm going to go to my local Louis Vuitton store and return it or exchange it or just whatever. You walk in, the person sees the receipt from France and they're like, you can't return this. And you're like, you cannot return things from other countries, guys. You can only exchange it for equal or greater value. And then if you want to swap out that color for that same bag, you're going to have to pay the taxes. So make sure But when you go somewhere that you're actually getting the piece.
Yeah, it's so important because, like,
Everybody
on
said.
vacation that you get that impulse shopping bug.
Mhm.
And also, I thought I understand why people will shop in France or Italy if the price of the item or the taxes are less than what you would get in the particular state that you live in the US. So that makes sense. But buying something just because you're in France that you don't necessarily need or want and thinking you can return it at home might not work out for you.
Not gonna. So
Yeah.
people be very, because people get mad. And this one lady got mad because she bought a capucine in Italy and she demanded. But it's like you can't return it because it's not federally regulated. Like the dollars and the money, the euro are different. Like you can't,
Hmm. Yeah.
it's not
Different.
possible. So
Yes.
she's like, hold on for a second. Let me make a call and see if this is okay. Well, I can't make it happen. I can't physically. First of all, managers have to be the ones that override turns. They have to put in a code to make sure it's okay. We have to check over the piece. We have to look at your receipt to see how long you've had it. We have to check over the piece. There's process. So if you think that I'm like being mean and not wanting to give you your money back, I mean, I'm trying to help you, but and then the lady's like, don't worry about it. My friend is going to Italy tomorrow. She's gonna return this bag. Right. Have fun. I mean, I give people good service, but I can't rewrite the company rules and rewrite federal regulations.
Yes. We can't give you back francs or euros,
Hmm.
which is why you can't return stuff that you have bought in another country. I
Exactly.
mean, I think it's pretty generous that you can even exchange anything, honestly. Like, it's
Yeah.
pretty, especially when
Louis,
items cost that much. There, in my opinion, should be 14-day return policy because 30 days is too much. It makes people buy things that they're not committed to because they
yeah,
know
I
they can
think
return it.
to be for real with you, I think Louis Vuitton is way more generous about and lenient about their return exchange policy more than any other luxury
Any
store.
other, yeah.
Everywhere else is not going to be as generous as Louis Vuitton. So I felt like they were very relaxed on their
Mhm.
returns exchange more than any place I've ever been.
Absolutely. That blew my mind. Like, it shouldn't even exist. It shouldn't be so
Like
lenient.
Nordstrom is more relaxed, but I'm not talking about department stores. Department stores is another beast. But as far as luxury European boutiques, I
Yep.
feel like Louis Vuitton was the most relaxed.
'Cause most
Gucci
of
was,
them are final sales.
yeah.
Gucci is 7 or 14 days. I don't remember which. I haven't shopped
Yeah.
there.
And if you even looked at the bag, you got to keep it.
Yeah, I know, pretty much. Okay, let me address another thing that was an internet rumor that I thought was so funny. There were articles that Hermes employees judge you on your address because they can see your address. And I want to say, like, heck yeah, we do. I mean, don't you guys, doesn't everyone have just kind of a perception on, oh, this person lives in that part of town. They
Yeah.
must have money. I mean, it's human nature to like, it was funny to me that this was like, oh, people are complaining about this. If you're fortunate to shop at Hermes, who cares what people think about where you live? Like, who cares?
Hermes won't even let you buy a Birkin if you walk in
I
and you're
know.
just a nobody. Everybody knows that Hermes is judgmental. That's why people buy them secondhand. I mean, that's why people don't want to go into Hermes and they'd rather spend more money. I'd rather spend more money if I were going to get an Hermes bag secondhand and then buying it at the store because then you don't have to pay the game. I'm not going to have to buy a million Twillies, a million Orans, a million click-a-clacks, a million Evelyns, ready to wear, things that I might not actually wear just so somebody can deem me worthy of a bag. I'd rather just go somewhere and be like, okay, this is the one I want. This is the one I like. It's got everything. And I'm not going to have to be offered it. I could just go buy the one I actually want.
Right? And just like in today's age, you can look up anyone where anyone lives. And I know people do this with YouTubers to see like, oh, what part of town does that person live? Like everyone does. Yeah. So if this, okay, to be honest, did you ever look up like where people lived? Like we
I
could
mean,
say
we
address.
We would see their address when they would be putting it in. The only
Mhm.
comments I'd make were like, "Oh, you live over here. I used to live in that area," or "I miss living in that part of town," or "Oh, how do you like it over there?" Oh, we had a lot of clients from Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and so I just like, "Oh, how do you like it over there?" But I wouldn't judge them. It would just be a conversation piece, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was, like, out of curiosity. Like, I remember there was a client from Arizona, and we did look up her address, and we were shocked, like, "Oh my god, it's so much cheaper to live there than here."
Oh,
Those are
yeah.
the types of things that we might look up, and other things that might happen if there's somebody purchasing what a $150,000 Birkin, where they're gonna be internet stalked. We're gonna try to find out, who's this person? What kind of,
Who is this person who has all this
business do
money?
they
Wow,
have?
that's
What
crazy.
are they what type of, business do they have that they can afford these type of things? Those are the type of curiosity. So if anyone's going to like, "Oh my god, I can't believe Hermes does," you know damn well you're doing that too.
Um, we had a girl and she was one of the girl's best clients. She bought every limited edition Capucine that
Mhm.
we had, and every like expense. She spent like $52,000 on a Capucine. You could buy, I mean, you could buy some Birkins for that. And so we looked up where she lived, and it actually was not a nice address. And we were all so curious, and we were all just, and that's human nature. Like, if somebody walks out of like a dinky car and they're wearing like a bag that costs more of their car, you're going to be like, what?
Yes,
It's just human curiosity.
it's curious, and it's also, like, that's her hobby, Like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, I have friends that own way more designer bags than I do, but they don't own their house because that's not a priority to them. Doesn't make it right or wrong, and I have no judgment to say what my friends' priorities should be. Like, that's none of my
Mhm.
business. I don't make their
Right.
paycheck for them, nor does anyone make my paycheck for me.
Mhm.
Car. There's people I talk to, their priority is the nice bag and not the car. And because you have the bag or not doesn't put you on a wealth scale higher or lower than anyone else. And it definitely doesn't put you on a personality, moral code scale higher or lower than anyone else. But I actually ran into an old coworker very recently, and we kind of had a chuckle about this. And at the end
Mhm.
of it, we were like, and people who would walk into and decide to spend money at Louis Vuitton complain so much. And it was so funny because it was like, there are literal actual people who can't afford housing who wouldn't have these type of complaints or thoughts. What are people thinking? What would people think? Because it's at the end of the day, it's a luxury experience that's optional. If you
Right.
have that luxury to spend that type of money, does anything of what anyone thinks of you matter? And what we said earlier is the ultra wealthy people do not even care to show off any of this stuff.
They do not. And
Yeah.
in fact, they want people to know they're really rich. So they probably are. The only people who want people to know they're really rich may be new money, but the people who are old money, they kind of try to hide it because they don't want people to know.
Yes,
They're like buying the row or something.
it's better for people not to know because people be nosy.
For sure. For sure.
Okay, now lastly, I want to share, and people are going to hate me for this too. Like, if we had a difficult client, or if we had something to laugh about, if you come in and you're that crazy customer that's, I don't know, I mean, it happens. Yes, we do go back behind closed doors and talk about the clients. I mean,
If you're crazy, yes, we're going to talk about you.
yeah.
So if you're coming in hot and you're coming in wild, we're
Hmm.
going to say something. We're humans. We're
Yep.
allowed to. We're entitled to. So if you walk in with attitude and you're a special kind of person, someone will probably say something. So don't act surprised.
Yeah, we
Like
sure
you don't
will.
do it. Like you
And
don't do it at your own job. Come on. Let's be
so,
also for real.
I mean, if a crazy person walked by you on the street, you would turn to your friend and say something. So
Yeah.
yeah, the idea like, oh my God, I can't believe salespeople talk about me behind my back. Yeah, probably because you did something pretty off the wall. Or
Right.
yeah, or came in, yeah, like Christy said, you came in hot, or There are so many scenarios that were laughable that, yeah, I had to hold my face and then go behind the door and laugh.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, that does happen too. Don't be offended. I mean, it is really, like, unrealistic that clients would think that client advisors aren't allowed to have any emotions, feelings,
Personal,
thoughts.
personal
I don't wanna help
opinions.
that person again. There would be people who walk in and everyone disperses, like, I do not wanna help that person. That does happen. If you build a bad reputation for yourself,
Hmm.
people won't wanna help
Yeah,
you.
sure. Very sure. Don't do that. Don't be that person. There was a lady who would return something. She'd buy it and return it like every week. How she didn't get banned is beyond me. But like she would sit there. Not only would she buy and return, but she would sit there for hours and just talk to you while other clients came in. She'd like no, like she wouldn't even like understand that like she wasn't the only person who shopped there.
Yeah, yeah, and, sadly, there are people who just need company, but if which is fine if you buy something and don't return it, because, like I said, we can be counselors sometimes. I had one of those customers who would want to come in and tell me about his mom, about his girlfriend, but after I listened to the story for about 45 minutes, he'd be like, "Okay," and open his wallet and buy something.
Yep.
So, it's part of the job, but yeah, you gotta buy something. Gotta buy something.
Uh-huh. For sure. Buy something.
Okay, well, anything else to add, Christy?
I think that's about it. That's our event.
We had another we had another event session. I do recall now there we did have one I did have one lady coming in hot. She had a $280 canvas bracelet, not a big deal in Vuitton terms. And she literally told me, I'm a hairdresser. I shampoo every day. It gets wet every day. And then I walk my dog. So the bracelet gets wet every day, but it fell apart and it shouldn't happen because it's Vuitton. I'm speaking in a nice tone. She wasn't. And I see your face, Chris. You're like, yeah, she's literally telling me what we're telling her not to do is that you get it wet.
It's
It's literally in a
costume
bath
jewelry.
12 hours a day.
It's a costume jewelry and rhodium, or it's like plated, and it's not even real gold dipped. That first of all, whatever charm she had on it was probably like the gold was
It's
probably
the it was the canvas one with the class. So at the end of it, because I didn't know, I went back, I was like, "Okay, what is this even repairable?" And it
yeah.
turns out the class was repairable for 60 bucks. So she was happy with that. And I remember this because it was like 10 a.m. She was waiting for the store to open. She came in
God,
with
don't you love those
attitude.
people? Sit
She came in
outside
with
the store
attitude, and at the end of it, she was actually like, "I'm sorry about earlier." I was like, "Okay,
first.
cool. All good. All good." Because I understand too I understand. I'm on the other side of like, "Oh my god." But anyways, my point is, if you come in with patience, we're most likely to reward you with patience or something or the solution. If you come in with attitude like, "I can't believe this," me as a person, as a salesperson, I'm gonna be less likely to want to help you find a solution.
Mhm. Right.
If you come in with like, "These are the facts. Can you help me find a solution?" We're gonna help you find a solution, even if the solution is, "I'm really sorry, we can't help you." But if you come in with like demanding, "I can't believe this, you should do better," and you're coming with blaming the salesperson, like automatically, I'm gonna be like,
Absolutely not.
"I don't wanna help you," you know?
Right.
Like, it's just or I'm gonna want to get you out as quick as possible, and my attitude and my face will say that because
Hmm.
that's basically what we're being handed.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, back to first point, if you think you're being judged, you probably are because 'cause you're coming in with that in your head that, "Oh, these people are gonna judge me." That energy is automatically received by salespeople. It just is. If
Right.
you're coming in with that feeling and that attitude that, "I have to be mean to get what I want." It's not gonna work for you in life.
No.
So that's
Absolutely.
thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Christy, for your
Yeah.
insights. I always love doing this, and,
Me too.
I know our audience does too. And I think, next time we'll talk about what we do now because I think we're
Hmm.
interesting people, and how it differs from Vuitton.
Yeah.
Vuitton, everyone thinks it's the dream job, and I even thought, and it is actually the most toxic. So
Yeah.
I think we could talk about how we've moved on from that and how our customer experience is different from the other side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Different, refreshing.
Thanks for joining, guys. Don't forget to
Yeah.
like and subscribe
Yep.
and let us know in the comments any experience that you had. We'd love to know and any experience you'd like us to talk about. And lastly, I am working on a platform for my viewers to buy, sell, and even trade your bags. So check that out in the comments. The link is in the description because I would like your feedback on that as well.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
So
Sounds fun.
I'm gonna let you go, Christy. I've took enough of your time. And we'll
We're
talk
good.
to you guys later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.